Good evening, good evening, good evening. How is everybody doing today? Welcome to today's live English lesson. It's Thursday here in Tokyo. It's Thursday night. It's just a little after 10:45. And we're going to have a good lesson today. We're going to work on some advanced phrasal verbs. So let me just get things set up here on my side. And once we get set up, we can get started. And I'm just going to wait for a few people to join, make sure we've got everybody here. In the meantime, today we've been doing a lot of different types of lessons. Today's lesson is going to be phrasal verbs, but we are going to focus on advanced ones today. So they are going to be a little bit more difficult. So I think you guys will enjoy this. Make sure you watch because we will do a little quiz. We'll fill in the blank kind of exercise to help you test yourself for all of these. So yeah, I'm just going to wait here a second and let people start joining. We've already got some people joining right now. So let's see. Coney, hi, how are you today? Sorry, I started a couple of minutes late. I just got home from work. So how are you doing, Coney? I hope you're having a great day. Yeah, you're early. I just started. I haven't even put the lesson on the screen yet, so it's great. It's great, and it's going to be a good lesson. Yesterday's lesson was all about travel English and more sort of practical. What would you say in each situation? Today's lesson is going to be more. We're going to build your vocabulary, advanced vocabulary. You just woke up. Wow. What time is it over there? What time is it? It's what time is it here? It's like, well, yeah, 10:51 now. 10:51, so it's 8:50. Okay, so your morning, my evening. What's on your agenda for today, Coney? What are you doing today? Any plans today? You know, Coney, thank you. I appreciate your comments. I was actually almost going to continue with yesterday's lesson because there were 5 more scenarios that I really wanted to do. I think some of those scenarios would have been really useful. I was going to sort of continue that today, but 5 scenarios wasn't enough for a whole lesson. So I might do that still and add a few more to it so we can have a longer lesson. So instead, I decided to do advanced phrasal verbs. And I've got a huge list of phrasal verbs that we'll go over here. These are all going to be a little bit more advanced, a little bit more difficult than what we have been doing so far. So I think it should be quite useful. All right, so as always here, one second, I'm just going to put the lesson onto the screen. I actually also posted another Versant listening video as well recently. So hopefully that helps you as well. So make sure you guys check out that if you're going to take a Versant test. Okay, so I'm going to put this lesson onto the screen right now, and then we can get started. Okay, just posting one more message on the community site for people to know. I did put a schedule out today, but I was too busy to create the actual. I'm doing that right now. I did that right now. So, okay, let's get started. I posted a message, so if people come and when they come, they come. Otherwise, we'll just get down to work here. So phrasal verbs, again, we're not going over any grammar today. We've done grammar with phrasal verbs many, many times. So we are going to focus solely on the meaning of each of these phrasal verbs. All right, so let's look at each of these. I'll scroll to the actual phrasal verbs, and we'll go through each of these one by one. And I actually kind of like what we did, or what I did last time. Last time I gave you an example sentence as well. And then it allowed people to try to guess what the meaning was. So I'm going to do that again today. So the first phrasal verb that we're going to focus on is brush up on. Brush up on. Right. So let's put a little sentence here, an example sentence of brush up on. All right, and once you read the sentence, then maybe you can tell me what this sentence means, what this phrasal verb means. So the example sentence I have here is, I need to brush up on my Spanish before the trip. I need to brush up on my Spanish before the trip. So what does that mean? All right, so maybe you have a trip, you're going to Spain. You're going to Brazil, not Brazil, that's Portuguese. You're going to Mexico. You're going to Peru, Bolivia, a Spanish-speaking country. So I need to brush up on my Spanish before the trip. Fusa, good evening. Good evening. How are you today? Thank you for joining. All right, so brush up on. What do you guys think this means? Okay, Coney, it means to practice language. Yeah, it means you're going to be practicing. You're going to be trying to remembering something. You're trying to improve something. But it doesn't have to be only language. You're going to improve any knowledge, any skill. Okay, but the important thing is with brush up on, what this means is that I know this from before, right? I know this from before. I've learned this before. So it's kind of like a review. I'm trying to remember everything. Okay, so it's not, it's not something new that you're learning. This is going to be something that you have learned before, right? So I'm going to put my definition into the box here. Okay. I think my font size is too big, so just bear with me as I reduce the font size just a skosh. All right, so it says to improve your knowledge or skill in something that you have learned in the past. All right, so you've learned this in the past. You knew how to do it in the past, and now you're doing it again. So you're trying to improve yourself. You're trying to remember everything. So, in this sentence, I need to brush up on my Spanish before the trip. That means I studied Spanish, but I haven't spoken it for a long time. So I'm trying to brush up. I'm trying to improve. I'm trying to remember. Giro, good morning. Good morning. How are you doing today? I haven't seen you for a while. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, so this sentence here, it's a great one. You brush up on things. I haven't played tennis for a very long time. So, before I play any match, with anyone, I need to brush up on my tennis skills. All right, so here, to improve your knowledge or skill, but it's something you learned in the past. Next, let's look at the phrasal verb to chip in. To chip in, okay? Chip in it's a great phrasal verb. We use it a lot. I'll give you an example sentence here. I'll give you an example sentence, and then after you see the example sentence, you tell me if you understand it. Tell me what you think that it means. All right, so the example sentence is there. Everyone chipped in to buy a gift for the teacher. Everyone chipped in to buy a gift for the teacher. You're doing well. Thank you. Yeah, that's great to hear, Jiro. How about me? I'm doing well. Yeah. Everything is good. It's super hot here in Tokyo. It's unbearably hot here. It was 38 degrees here today with, I think, like 80% humidity. So it was unbearable today. So to chip in means everyone chipped in to buy a gift for the teacher. Everyone chipped in to buy a gift for the teacher. Connie, it's more just for a period of time until you kind of remember everything. Right? It's just for a period of time. It's not really a habit. Once it's a habit, you're back into the, same routine from the past. So you're at that same level. So, it's kind of like I was at this level. I haven't done it for a long time, so my level reduced. So I'm trying to improve back to that level. And then from there, you continue to improve. But at that point, it's not brushing up on. You're learning something new. It's also hot in Boston. Okay. So Jerry, so everyone is excited to buy a gift for the teacher. Not excited. It's a little different meaning. And in this example here, in our sentence, we are, we're talking about, or it doesn't really say what we're talking about. Chip in, it can mean two things. The root meaning is the same. I do want to ask, how is my internet connection right now? Is it okay? I'm not cutting out, am I? I've got like 3 different networks at my house. And unfortunately, right now, it's chosen the weakest network. And I'm going to stay with it because I don't want to jump to another network and lose this connection. So, but if it does become kind of, if it becomes bad, if it becomes where I'm cutting out, please let me know. So chip in, Coney. Yeah, so to offer something in a group. Yeah, you're on the right idea. You're on the right track. So basically, when you chip in, right? So here, it says that everyone chipped in to buy a gift for the teacher. Basically, what that means that everyone is going to contribute some money. Everyone is going to give some money, or they're going to give some effort for something. In this situation, it's probably money. All right, so everybody is going to give money or effort toward a common cause. And here the common cause is, you're buying a gift for your teacher. So every classmate, every student will put a little bit of money and they buy a gift. So you chip in. Now, chip in doesn't have to be only money. It can be effort. It can be effort as well. So, for example, my friend, if my friend had a party and after the party, his house was very messy, maybe most of the guests were leaving, going home. But, maybe I would say to my friend, okay, listen, you know what? I'll chip in and help you clean. So I will give my effort towards this cause, this goal. So sometimes my screen is getting frozen, but my audio is good. Okay, you know what? Let's see if this works. I'm going to jump to my better network, and I hope I don't lose you guys for too long. Okay, so I'm going to jump to the next network. Just stick with me, stay with me. It should jump over quickly. I might lose you, or you might lose me for like a couple of seconds, but just stay here and I will be right back, hopefully. All right, so I'm loading. So let me know if you can see me and if you can hear me. And unfortunately, it went right back to the old net. I don't know why. It keeps going back to this one network. It likes it. I'm going to try again. Okay. I'm on my regular network now. Please let me know if you can see me and if you can hear me. Anybody who's watching right now, just give a thumbs up if you can hear me and see me. Thumbs down if you can't. I think it's definitely two. Okay, I'm good. Thank you, Coney. Nice. All right, so chip in means to give money, effort towards a common cause. So you can chip in money, you can chip in your time, you can chip in some effort. All right, let's move on to the next one. Draw up. Draw up. And I'm going to give you an example sentence for this as well. I actually used this sentence. I used this phrasal verb in one of my company classes today. I was teaching a company today, and this phrasal verb came up in our discussion. So I thought it would be good to add it here today as well. Here is the example sentence. The lawyer will draw up the contract for us. The lawyer will draw up a contract for us. Now, most times when you see the verb draw, you're thinking like a picture or a painting, right? It's the physical action of drawing something. But here, it has a different meaning. It's a different meaning. So here, the lawyer will draw up the contract for us. What do you guys think that means? Thank you, Jiro. Thank you for letting me know. So the lawyer will draw up a contract for us. Any ideas on this? What do you guys think it means? All right, so Jero, yeah, the lawyer will prepare something important or official for us. Yeah, the lawyer will prepare something, but the key thing here is how do they prepare it? They're basically going to be writing it. They're going to be writing it. So they're going to write something, a document or a contract. So draw up is not drawing, it's actually writing. It's writing. So it can be a contract, it can be a plan. All right, good job, Joe. All right, number four, get around to. Get around to. And I'll give you an example sentence of this. Okay, so my example sentence for get around to is right here. I'll get around to cleaning the garage this weekend. I'll get around to cleaning the garage this weekend. All right, what do you guys think this means if you get around to something? Oh, your phone turned off. Welcome back, Coney. Welcome back. So we're doing get around to. So I'll get around to cleaning the garage this weekend. I finally got around to cleaning my house. I finally got around to checking all of my emails. Okay, so what we're going to say for this is you are going to find the time. You're going to find the time to do something that you have planned to do. You planned to do it, but you didn't do it. You planned to do it, and then you postponed. You postponed it, right? But finally, you're going to do it. Yeah, Coney, I can't. There you go. I see your emoji now, but I couldn't see the other one. My phone turned off. I'm here again. Person turquoise writing headphones was your emoji. So I'm assuming someone's got headphones on. A turquoise person. All right, so get around to means you finally, you do something that you plan to do. You do something that you put off. Okay, let's look at the next one. Give in. Give in. All right, let's look at the example sentence here. This example sentence won't be too difficult. Okay, Coney, I can see your emojis now. This is a little green square man. Where do you get all these emojis? Okay, so the sentence for give in. After a long argument, he finally gave in. After a long argument, he finally gave in. So what do you guys think this means? What does gave in here mean? They're all on YouTube. Okay, I had no idea. Yeah, very, very good, Giro. Finally agrees. And it's a little bit more than just agreeing. You know, basically what happens is it's kind of like give up. It's very similar to give up. You're going to stop arguing. You're going to stop resisting. Right? So if my friend said, "Hey Shelly, let's go watch a movie. Let's go watch a documentary." And I said, "You know what? Yeah, no thanks. I'd rather watch like a horror movie or action or comedy." But my friend kept saying it, you know, let's go to a documentary, let's go to a documentary. He kept pestering me, kept annoying me day after day, asking me, let's go, let's go, let's go. And if I just said, oh, okay, fine, let's go, right? I gave in. I stopped resisting. I stopped resisting and I stopped arguing about something. And it's very reluctant. I don't want to go, but I'm tired. Like, oh, fine, let's do it. So I gave in. Yeah, only some I can't see. Some of them I can see, some I can't see. And then it's just written, like the rainbow person. I couldn't see that. Great, Jiro. Perfect. All right. What about the next one? To look down on. Look down on. All right. This is a good one. I like this one. I'll put the example sentence on the screen. I think you should be able to understand it from this example. All right, here we go. She looks down on people who don't have a college degree. She looks down on people who don't have a college degree. What do you think that means, to look down on someone? Remember, if you have the answer, just leave it in the comment section. This is a very common phrasal verb. You know, basically to look down on someone, you basically think they are below you. You consider them not equal to your level. You think they are inferior. They are weaker, not as smart, not as beautiful, just not as good as yourself. So you kind of look down on them. Right? So it is a very bad thing to do, but it's important that you know this phrasal verb. So you consider someone or something as inferior or not important. I think the key thing here as well, it's not only like someone, it can be something as well. It can be something as well. All right, so maybe some people, if you go to a countryside or if you go to a big city, they don't like it. They look down on that. They look down on the city. All right, we consider it not good. It's inferior. Coney, it's to think that other people without such bills aren't worthy. Exactly. Perfect. Yeah, Coney, it's not a good thing. You're right. Exactly. You look down on someone. Right. What about number 7? Make up for. Make up for. All right, the example sentence should help you. Let's see. Let's put the example sentence here. I'll make up for being late by staying longer. I'll make up for being late by staying longer. This is a great phrasal verb. I'll make up for being late by staying longer. So for me, what this means is that you made a mistake or you lose something, you have some issue, and then you want to make up for it. You're going to compensate for the mistake. Okay, so that's what I would say. You compensate for a mistake, a loss. Okay, let's put it here. To compensate for a mistake, loss, or deficiency. Okay, let's keep going here. Bail out. It's a great phrasal verb, to bail out. All right, bail out. So I'll give you an example sentence here. And here we go. Not that one. There we go. All right, so it says the government had to bail out the failing bank. The government had to bail out the failing bank. Okay. So basically, what this means is that the bank is rescuing. They're rescuing. They're trying to help by giving usually money, is what we say. So bail is usually something talking about money. Okay, so you're rescuing someone or something. Okay, so let's put that here. There we go. So to bail out means to rescue someone. All right, rescue someone or something from a difficult situation. It's usually financial. It's usually financial. You know, you bail someone out, you help them with money. Okay. Next, number 9, iron out. Iron out. Number 6, the meaning. Yes, for sure you can. Number 6, Joe, there you go. And I'll put 6, 7, 8 all on the screen so you can see all of them. To consider someone who or something as not equal, they're inferior, they're below you, they're unimportant. It's a negative meaning. So if we say someone looks down on you, that means that person is not good. All right, so bailout means to rescue someone or something from a difficult situation, often financial. No problem, Joe. Thank you. Good job. Let's look at the next one. Next one is going to be, one second while I try to find it. There it is. Next 2, iron out and wear off. Iron out and wear off. Let's look at the example sentence now. All right, so here's an example sentence. We need to iron out the details of the agreement. We need to iron out the details of the agreement. Okay, what does that mean? What do you think that means? So basically, if you're going to iron something out, you're going to solve it. You know, you're going to be in a situation where you're not fighting. So let's look here. It says to resolve problems or difficulties, usually through discussion. All right, so you're going to solve some type of problem. You're going to iron out the problem. And now number 10, wear off. Okay, the example sentence I would put here. So I've got here, the pain will wear off in a few hours. The pain will wear off in a few hours. What does it mean? What does this mean? Okay, got it. Perfect, Joe. So the pain will wear off in a few hours. All right, what does it mean? All right, basically it means to gradually diminish or disappear, typically referring to effects or feelings. So let's say, for example, I had a headache. I had a very bad headache, but I took some aspirin. I took an Advil. I took a Bufferin, right? But that medicine does not work forever. There is a limit. So maybe if my head is still hurting, I could say the medicine wore off. The medicine wore off. Okay, it's going to be the effect is gone. Okay, so that's 10. 10 advanced phrasal verbs. We got brush up on. You're trying to improve some knowledge or skill of something that you used to do in the past. Chip in means you give something, you give money, you give effort towards a common cause. Draw up means to write a contract or some, official plan. Get around to is you find time to do something that you already postponed. Give in, you stop arguing, you resist. Look down on, you think someone is lower than you. Make up for. So this one is you're going to compensate for a mistake or a loss. Bail out, you are going to rescue someone by giving them money usually. Iron out, solve your problems. And wear off means to become weaker and weaker and weaker. Okay, so those are the 10 phrasal verbs that we're going to learn today. So what we're going to do next is let's go over the application. This is the fill in the blank part. You have to think of which phrasal verb can fit in this sentence. Okay, it says the government had to something several banks during the financial crisis to prevent economic collapse. This is a very tough sentence. All right, any ideas with this? All right, so here, I'll give you another hint. Let's say there was a financial crisis, Lehman shock. All right, so a lot of banks were struggling. They needed help, and the government gave them help. So what phrasal verb would it be? Okay, so for me, if you need help, and this is, we're talking about a financial crisis, banks. If you need help and it's financial, we're going to be using bailout. All right, so for example, the answer here would be the government had to bail out several banks during the financial crisis to prevent economic collapse. Okay, what about number 2? Let's make this a little bigger. It's easier for you to say. Number 2 says, I need to something my French before the trip to Paris. I need to something my French before the trip to Paris. What do you guys think this means? And you know what we'll do? I remembered earlier today. Let's put all of the verbs into a banner. In the meantime, what's your answer for this? I need to my French before the trip to Paris next month. So remember, I told you I'm from Canada and I used to speak French. Not anymore. I haven't spoken in a long time. So for me, the answer here would be I need to brush up on. I need to brush up on my French before the trip to Paris. Coney, perfect. Perfect. Brush up on. Perfect. Nice, nice, nice. Okay, number 3. Number 3. After several months of hard work, the team managed to something all issues with the project. All right, what do you think? All right, so let's go. After several months of hard work, the team managed to something all the issues with the project. And you know what? What I'm going to do right now is let's put all of the verbs into a list like I did last time. Okay, so let's make a list here of all the verbs. Let's make a banner. Okay. So let's see if I can find my list. I can't find it. There it is. And let me just add some brackets and spacing in here so it's easier for everybody to separate and read all of these phrasal verbs. Okay. Okay, there are all the verbs there. After several months of hard work, the team managed to something all the issues with the project. All right, what do you guys think the answer is for this? I think you might have answered already. Brush up on, that was the previous one. So after several months of hard work, the team managed to something all the issues with the project. So you can just choose one of the phrasal verbs from the list that's the banner right there. After several months of hard work, the team managed to bail out is going to be someone, and it's usually financial help. After several months of hard work, the team managed to get around to all the issues with the project. Yeah, that would work. That would work. Yeah, I think that's definitely a possible answer. Perfect. Perfect. Okay, so after several months of hard work, get around to it. There's one more that I would use. There's one more that I would use. For me, in this one here, I'm going to be using iron out. Iron out. So after several months of hard work, the team managed to iron out all the issues with the project. Okay, so you're going to make everything smooth and make everything perfect. So you iron out the issues. So remember, if we go back to the definition of iron out, it means to resolve problems. You resolve problems and difficulty. And usually we do this through discussion. Okay, so let's go to number 4. He didn't want to something to his boss's demands, but he had no choice. What are you guys' answers for this? He didn't want to something to his boss's demands, but he had no choice. Is it brush up on, chip in, draw up, get around to, give in, look down, make up for, bail out, iron out, wear off? All right, so for this one here, your boss is, really trying to push something, demanding something, and you don't want to do it. You're very strong, like no. But sometimes the boss is, very, very, very strong. So eventually you say, oh, okay, I'll do it. So this action is to give in. Give in. Okay, so he didn't want to give in to his boss's demands. Okay, so Coney, perfect, give in. Jero, perfect, give in. Yeah, he didn't want to give in to his boss's demands, but he had no choice. Perfect. So let's put that right here. Give in. Let's move on. Number 5, she tends to something people who don't share her views. She tends to something people who don't share her own views. So if someone doesn't have the same viewpoint as her, she somethings. What does she do? What does she do? So this one here, if someone doesn't have the same view as me, let's say I have my view, the sky is blue, the sky is purple, the sky is purple, the sky is purple. It's not blue, it's purple. but someone doesn't have the same viewpoint as me. So in that situation, yeah, you know what? No, you're not smart. I don't want anything to do with you. All right, so she tends to, in this one here, look down on. She tends to look down on people who don't share her views. Coney, perfect. So Jero, not iron out. It's going to be look down on. So she thinks they're not good because their opinion is different. All right, so let's put the answer here. She tends to look down on people who don't share her views. Okay, number 6. We should all some money to buy a farewell gift for our colleague. What is your answer here? We should all some money to buy a farewell gift for our colleague. What do you guys think that means? You're very welcome, Joe. All right, so this was very similar to the example sentence that I had previously for this phrasal verb. And I'm going to give everybody a few seconds to answer. I know there is a kind of a time delay. Sometimes it takes time to hear what I'm saying and then for you to type it. So I'll give you another few seconds before I answer it. All right, so we should all something. Okay, so it doesn't look like we have any answers on the screen here. So let's answer it ourselves. We should all some money to buy a farewell gift for our colleague. We should all chip in some money to buy a farewell gift for our colleague. All right, that means you're going to pay some money. Coney, what do you have? We should all chip in some money to buy a farewell gift for our colleague. Perfect. Okay. Next, it took her years to something. The fact that she missed out on so many opportunities because of her illness. I think number 7 is probably the most difficult one. It took her years to what? Okay, what does this mean? So basically, it says here, it took her years to something. The fact that she missed out on so many opportunities because of her illness. All right, so the answer here, what I would answer, I'm going to put it onto the screen. It took her years to make up the fact that she missed out on so many opportunities. All right, so it took her years to make up the fact that she missed out on so many opportunities because of her illness. All right, so remember, make up. It means that you are going to try to make something better. Okay, let's keep going. Let's keep going. Let's go to, I was looking at, trying to find another example for that, but let's go on to number 8. The effects of medication will something after a few hours. The effects of medication will something after a few hours. So I think the, Jero, I think your previous answer for number 8 or 7 should be used for number 8. So the effects of the medication Yes, of course I can explain that more. So let's go back to our definition. Let's go back to our definition of make up for. You're going to compensate for a mistake. You're going to compensate for a loss. You lost something. You were deficient. It means not enough. All right. So now if we go back to the sentence, it says here, it took her years to make up the fact that she missed out on so many opportunities because of her illness. So it took her years to compensate, to, you know, it means to recover from the fact that she missed out on so many opportunities. So she couldn't do so many things because she was sick. She couldn't do so many things because she was sick. So it took her years to make up for that. You know, so all of the years she couldn't do it, then after, you know, when she got better, it took her years to kind of recover that. You know, typically we would have a sentence like, I'll make up for being late by staying longer. That was my example sentence. Let's put in the banner here. Let's put that example sentence. Where was it? This was it. I'll make up for being late by staying longer. So I will compensate you. I didn't come early, but I'll stay longer. That's how I will make everything okay. That's how I will, you know, compensate or pay you. But here, she was, you know, missing so many opportunities. But it took her years to recover. Okay, get it. That's perfect. Good, good, good. I didn't read your comment. I would have just kept explaining. Thank you. Thank you, Cody. So number 8, the effects of the medication will wear off after a few hours. The effects of the medication will wear off after a few hours. That means the strength, the ability of the medication to work will little by little reduce to nothing. All right. Medication usually has only a few hours that it will work. It will be effective, maybe 4 to 8 hours. Then eventually it becomes weaker and weaker in your body, so it wears off. All right. Number 9, he finally something going through all the old letters that he had piled over the years. All right, what does that mean? He finally something to going through all the old letters that have piled up over the years. So all of these letters kept piling up and piling up. But initially, he didn't do anything with the letters. He just, you know, maybe collected them, but didn't read them. So for me, in this situation, I would say he finally got around to going through all the old letters that had piled up over the years. Going through means you're reading all the letters. Okay, and last one, number 10. Number 10 says, the lawyer was instructed to something the contract by the end of the day. All right, what is the answer here? The lawyer was instructed to something the contract by the end of the day. All right, so here, lawyer, you've asked the lawyer and you've got a contract. You want the lawyer to create or make this contract. So that's what the answer would be. The lawyer was instructed to, go through or draw up the contract by the end of the day. So for our phrasal verbs, we're going to be using draw up. The lawyer was instructed to draw up the contract by the end of the day. So this means that the lawyer must write the whole contract by the end of today. So there's a deadline. Bail out, we're going to bail out people. Sure, we're going to bail out people. So you bail out people with money, with help, or even other situations. If somebody's in jail, right, you pay money, then they can get out. That's called bail. So draw up means to write, So if you have a contract, right, anytime you have a contract, you want someone to write it. I can't write it. You need a professional lawyer. The lawyer will write the contract. The lawyer will draw up. Okay. Bail out. Bail out means I'm going to give you some help, usually financial help, some money to help you. So one is to draw, one is to help financially. Does that make sense now, Jero? Yeah, I sometimes bail out homeless people or street sellers. Yeah, perfect. Okay, you get it. And bailout can be in so many situations, right? Like, for example, Jero, if you watch sports, if you play sports, let's say I'm playing basketball and I tried to pass the ball to my teammate, but it's a bad pass. The other team takes it and they have a clear line to the basket and they're going to do an easy shot, but my teammate comes out of nowhere and blocks the shot. He bailed me out. So from his effort, it's not only money, but from his effort, he was able to help me. Does that make sense? You're going to rescue someone from some situation. Coney, is that a good sentence? I sometimes bail out homeless people or street sellers. Yeah, it's okay. It's not bad. It's not bad. Usually, a lot of times something is like they're failing extremely, but I guess homeless people are. Street sellers as well, they struggle financially, so you're helping them. Yeah, that would work. Good sentence, Coney. Now, the original meaning of bail, another meaning of bail is if somebody was arrested, they go to jail, then somebody can, friend, family can come, pay some money, then they can leave the jail until they have to go to court. That's also called bail. All right. Any questions? So that was 10. That was all 10 right now. And if we just kind of go over all of the phrasal verbs from today, I'll actually put that banner up here again. There we go. Brush up on. It means you kind of review, improve something that you used to learn. Chip in means that you contribute, you give money, or you give your effort to some cause. Draw up means to write. It's usually a contract. You draw up a contract. Get around to means do something. You're going to do something that you put off. You didn't do it. You kept pushing it back. And then you're going to, once you do it, you get around to it. Okay. Give in means you stop arguing, you stop resisting. Look down on, you think other people are not as good as yourself, not as worthy. You look down. It's a negative meaning. Make up for is you compensate for something. Bail out, you give financial assistance, or you give some type of effort to help. Iron out. Iron out means that you're gonna try to solve something. You're gonna solve something, some difficulty, usually maybe through discussion. So you're gonna solve some problem. And then wear off means something will gradually disappear. Maybe medicine. So if your medicine is getting weaker and weaker, you can say it's wearing off. All right, so okay, so I bail out a lot of kids with disabilities and they finally find their memory. A little different, a little different. I think that is something like you are doing this as, you know, because you're a good person, right? You're trying to help. You're trying to make people a better, you know, you're trying to make the world a better place, which is great. But bail out is kind of more like you rescue them. It's not something where they're having difficulty in their life. Like it's a tough life. It's a hard life that is consistent. It's not that. It's a rescue. You're going to rescue someone. All right. So it's a little bit different. You're going to be rescuing someone. All right. So for example, my example sentence, I said here, and I'm going to put an example. You know, we actually have this example here. The government had to bail out the failing bank. So basically the government had to rescue the bank because the bank was failing. They had no money. They were losing money. All right, let's see if I can get you another example as well. Yeah, you could say, here's another example. I'll put it on the screen here. One second while it's just trying to save and load here. He had to bail out his friend who got in trouble with the law. Okay. Iron out is different. Iron out is different. Okay. Iron out means that you need to resolve some difficulty, some issue, some problem, and you're going to solve it through discussion. Okay, so bailout is rescuing someone. Iron out means that you're going to resolve the difficulty. You're going to resolve the problem. And usually this is through discussions. You talk, you try to get on the same page. So yeah, we're not going to replace bailout with iron out. Iron out is you resolve, you're going to resolve a problem, a difficulty, and you do it through discussion. Bailout is you're rescuing someone. And many times it's financial issue, but it's a very big issue. Okay, so it's a very big problem. All right, so Joe, does that make sense? Or are you still a little confused? If you're confused, that's fine. Don't worry about that. You can ask me and I'll explain it in another way. And I want you to think iron out. I want you to imagine that you've got like a dress shirt on and you've got all these wrinkles. These wrinkles are problems. So you get an iron and you get rid of all the wrinkles. So you iron out means you're gonna, resolve any problem or difficulties. Bailout is complete rescue. It's a complete rescue. So even like private, let's say I'm at a party, Juro. I'm at a party and someone I don't like comes and begins to talk with me. And they're talking and talking. And I don't want to talk. I don't want to be there. And then suddenly my friend comes. My friend sees me. Oh, Shelly needs help. So my friend comes over, and maybe my friend says, oh, Shelly, someone needs to talk to you. They need your help. And so my friend is removing me from that conversation. So I would say, oh, thanks for bailing me out. Thanks for rescuing me. Okay. Iron out is just solving the problems. Okay, so I'll put the list back up here. Any other questions with these phrasal verbs? So today's phrasal verbs are a lot more difficult than the ones we've been doing recently. The ones we've been doing recently are a little bit easier. Today's are more difficult, but they are super, super common. Yeah, if you're in the US or in Canada, you will use these very, very often. Daily you will hear these phrasal verbs. So they are some of the most commonly used phrasal verbs in the US. So even though they are difficult, they are common. So I hope that these verbs help you. I hope you can start to use them in sentences, incorporate them into your speech as well. All right. And so if there are does anybody have any other questions? Doesn't have to be about today's lesson. And if you don't, that's fine. And I do want to give you people who are watching right now, if you're watching live right now, or if you're watching on the replay, I do want to give an update. This coming Saturday, I always do live lessons Saturday morning. This Saturday, I will not be doing a live lesson. I will be out of town. I need to go work out of town for a couple of days. So I cannot do the lesson on Saturday. Next Saturday, I'll be back. But this Saturday, there won't be a lesson. So this will be the final lesson this week. The next lesson will be on Monday next week. And Coney, I do see that emoji. I do see it. It's kind of like the, what is that thing? That action. And you're very welcome, Coney. Increase. Okay, that's better. I hope I'm not decreasing your knowledge. Thank you, Zero. I appreciate the comments, Coney. I also appreciate it. And I'll try to keep remembering to put the schedule up, Coney. But definitely this Saturday it won't be a lesson. I'll be out of town. I'll be working. I'll be actually doing something like 2-3 hours away from Tokyo. All right, guys. Great to see you guys. Great to see everyone. If you're watching on the replay, I hope you enjoyed the lesson. Make sure you subscribe. Yeah, hit the like button, hit the notification bell as well. All right, guys. Until the next live lesson, that'll be Monday. Until that time, see you guys all. But remember, I am posting a lot of other videos as well. You can check those out. Thank you, Coney. Thank you. I appreciate it. All right, guys. See you guys all on Monday. Coney, have a great weekend too. Juro, have a great weekend in Boston. All right, guys. See ya.